Hi, my name is Stewart MacDonald. I'm from Birmingham in the West Midlands. I'm retired. I came around about selling my house basically because it was too big for me and my wife at the time. We were in a 3-bedroom and we wanted somewhere that was 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom. We looked around for several months, couldn't find what we were really after, but came across one that suited us. So I contacted an estate agent by the name of Connells in Harborne in Birmingham to sell a property for us. They came out with a valuation of $220,000, which we were quite happy with. They found a buyer within 3 days, but unfortunately that buyer took 7 months to decide that they couldn't afford the deposit, and so that sale fell through. We then put it back up for sale, but in the 7 months that we'd been waiting from the first sale, the house prices had actually gone up. So it was then valued at $240, but was listed at $230 and sold within a couple of days. Again, sadly, it seemed that we were never destined to sell it because 5 or 6 weeks after, we got a phone call from Connells to say that the purchaser pulled out because he failed to get the deposit, partly the deposit and the mortgage. So it seemed that we'd been wasting our time when the estate agents hadn't done the due diligence in making sure these people could afford the property before they viewed it. I was then on Facebook one day and I saw an advertisement for Springbok. So I thought, well, give them a ring, see what they got to say. I spoke to them on the phone and they were really pleasant. Arranged for somebody to come out, I think it was 3 or 4 days later. They came to see both my wife and I. My wife had got to go to work, unfortunately, but they spoke to me, explained what they did, how they worked, what we could gain from using them as we guiding what we didn't gain from an estate agent. And that was basically that before they allowed people to view the property and make sure that they, one, got the deposit in place or the finance to purchase it, or that they've got a mortgage in place they use to buy the property. Therefore, that if anybody is interested that they send out, then we know that they're going to buy it because they would be penalised by Springbok if they were to withdraw after making the offer, unless the reason was good. So that was one of the main reasons that we decided to use them. They didn't discuss what their charges were at the time. They said, we'll get it valued, we'll send somebody out, get it valued, then we'll come and see you again. And then if you're satisfied, we'll get the negotiation team on board. So I think it was a week later, we had a valuer come out, nice guy. He surprisingly valued it at $240,000, so it had gone up slightly again. We then had another call from Springbok, who sent a negotiator out. He gave us all the terms of the sale, what they would take out of it, what we could use. There would be no solicitor's fees as long as we use their solicitor. And the only fees that we'd have to pay eventually, obviously, was our own solicitor's fees if we moved to another property. And it all went through and was signed off on the 19th of January 2024. I'm more than happy to recommend Springbok because in my experience with them, they did everything that they promised to do. I'm just grateful that they were able to do what they promised to do. They returned me the amount of money that I wanted. I also used their solicitors who were fantastic. I had not a single moment with them. I think in all the process with the solicitors, it took about 10 to 14 days. And they were in contact with me all the time, telling me what I need to do, what documents I need to produce, and liaise with my solicitors. I can't recommend their solicitors highly enough. They were fantastic. So all in all, it was a really pleasant transaction. But I will say this, and I am firmly in the belief of this, whatever your house is worth, it's only worth that if it's presented properly and maintained properly. It's no good asking £500,000 for a house if it needs £150,000 worth of work on it. And I think sometimes people have an unrealistic view of what they should be receiving for the property. But for me personally, 10 out of 10 for Springbok. I was absolutely thrilled with them, from the guy that came, the valuation guide, the solicitors, and the end. where they rang me even after the house was sold and said, "Thank you for your business. We appreciate it. You know where we are. If you need any help, if anything's gone wrong or you need to use again, don't hesitate."